Before we start, the world's largest buyer of carbon removal credits just paused all purchases. That's 96% of the entire market gone overnight. Stay to the end to find out what it means for your business this week in sustainability. Here are your top 10 stories ranked by what the world is talking about most. Number 10, Greggs and Primark revisit sustainability targets. This is relevant for food and beverage and media and marketing and advertising organizations, managing brand reputation and consumer expectations. Greggs has scrapped its ambition to reduce packaging weight by 25%, pivoting to recyclability instead. Primark has updated its circular fashion design standards after only 5% of units sold in financial year 24-25. And it met the original framework. Both moves reflect the pressure large brands face to balance genuine progress with commercial reality. Number 9, Delta Airlines downgrades its net zero target to an aspiration, relevant for any large organisation that's published net zero commitments, and the media marketing agencies measuring Scope 3 through their client supply chains. Delta quietly removed its pledge to use sustainable aviation fuel for 10% of jet fuel by 2030 and reframed its net zero 2050 goal from a goal to an aspiration. SAF currently makes up just 0.5% of Delta's fuel use. This is a warning signal. If airlines with high public visibility are walking back commitments, the pressure on other sectors to hold the line will intensify. Number 8, Orban is defeated in Hungary. What it signals for climate politics in Europe? This is relevant for organisations operating across EU markets, particularly those navigating ESG reporting timelines tied to EU policy stability. Viktor Orban's 16-year rule ended in a landslide defeat. The incoming Peter Magyar has pledged to repair Hungary's EU relationship, removing one of the main blockers of unified European climate and sustainability policy. For businesses operating under CSRD or EUDR obligations, greater EU cohesion should mean more predictable regulatory timelines. Number 7, allergy seasons are getting longer. Climate change is the driver. This is relevant for food and beverage businesses, healthcare organisations, and any employer tracking workforce health impacts from climate change. Climate Central research shows pollen seasons are starting earlier and lasting longer as temperatures rise. Researchers at Duke University are using laser-based mapping to create hyperlocal forecasts. For food and beverage companies, longer growing seasons carry both opportunity and risk, particularly for allergen management and supply chain resilience. Number 6, EV sales surge as Iran war drives up petrol prices. This is relevant for food and beverage and MMA organisations managing fleet emissions. Scope 1 targets and transport cost exposure. Hyundai reported US EV sales up 40% from February to March. Austrian EV registrations hit a record high. Chinese EV exports more than doubled in March to 349,000 units. The Iran war has done what policy incentives alone couldn't. It's made electric vehicles the economically rational choice for many buyers. If your fleet strategy still centres on internal combustion engine ICE vehicles, the window for transition planning is narrowing. Number 5, EU Deforestation Regulation. 1 in 3 businesses still not compliant. And this is relevant for food and beverage companies using cocoa, coffee, palm oil, soy, or timber in supply chains, and the MMA agencies communicating on their behalf. With EUDR enforcement approaching, a new report finds 1 in 3 businesses still have no public commitment to address deforestation in key commodities. This is not a niche compliance issue. The CMA in the UK issued new guidance in January 2026 making clear that liability for misleading green claims extends to any business that repeats or disseminates them, including agencies. Luca Chocolates in Colombia is a useful case study in how supply chains traceability can be built at scale. Number 4, China is winning the global clean energy race. This is relevant for any organization with energy exposure, supply chain risk in critical minerals, or investment in sustainability infrastructure. China accounts for around 80% of global solar panel production and is home to our 4 largest wind turbine makers. As the Iran war accelerates demand for renewable alternatives, Chinese manufacturers are the primary beneficiaries. Egypt is now racing to get 45% of its power from renewables in 2 years, and it cannot get there without China. The IEA's Fatih Birol put it plainly: the war will redraw the global energy map. Business building long-term decarbonisation strategies need to factor in geopolitical dependencies in their supply chain. Number 3, the carbon removal market in crisis and what it means for net zero. This is relevant for any organisation with a net zero commitment that includes carbon removal for or offsetting as a part of the pathway. Multiple sources confirmed this week that Microsoft has paused carbon removal purchases, representing 96% of the entire market by Bloomberg NEF's estimates. Microsoft Chief Sustainability Officer has since clarified the program has not ended, but the underlying signal is clear. The financial case for large-scale carbon removal purchasing is under review. With Delta walking back targets and Microsoft pausing credits, we are entering a phase where corporate climate commitments face their most serious credibility test. Measurement and reduction remain the only defensible path. Number 2, the Iran war and the global energy shock. This is relevant for every large organization. Energy prices, supply chain disruption, inflation, and currency volatility are all in play. Oil above $100 a barrel, European natural gas prices up 40% since February. Europe has 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining, according to the IEA. The top 100 oil and gas companies earned more than $30 million every hour in unearned profits during the first month of the conflict. The IMF has cut global growth forecasts and warns of recession risk if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed beyond 6 months. For large organizations in MMA and food and beverage, energy is both a direct cost and a systemic supply chain risk. Businesses that have already reduced energy intensity are better positioned than those that haven't started. Number 1, again, the US-Iran ceasefire talks and the sustainability policy implications. This is relevant for all sectors. The pace and direction of global climate policy, carbon markets, and energy transition investment will be shaped by how this conflict resolves. This week's dominant story is the ongoing US-Iran-US conflict and the diplomatic push towards a ceasefire extension. Israel and Lebanon agreed a 10-day truce on Thursday. Former Secretary of State John Kerry told Semaphore he expects a deal soon. The conflict has exposed every major vulnerability in the global fossil fuel system simultaneously. Supply chain fragility, geopolitical choke points, and the absence of genuine energy security. The IEA is now saying we are not going back to where we were. For businesses, the question is not whether energy transitions is necessary, it is how quickly the transition can be built. So, top 3 mind-blowing environmental facts from this week. Number 1, atmospheric CO2 hit 429.7 parts per million on the 14th of April, 2026, the highest ever recorded. That is a number that will not come down in our lifetimes without active removal at enormous scale. Number 2, damage to energy infrastructure in the Middle East from the Iran war could cost the region up to $58 billion, according to Rystad Energy. Yet oil companies made more than $30 million per hour in extra profit during the same period. Number 3, microplastics research may have been significantly overstated. 3 separate studies found that common research methods produce false positives, one suggesting atmospheric plastic estimates could be 100 to 10,000 times higher than plausible. We still have a crisis. We just may not fully understand its scale yet. If you want to be a part of our network, please DM me or comment below.